welcome to another episode of Lock and Hackle. It is the January the 8th of 2025, and currently we're bracing for a winter storm that should be arriving in 48 hours, maybe. I just released a pictorial video of a recap of 2024, and I'm sorry if it's loud. The heat's on. It's like 27 degrees outside, so it's just going to be running incessantly. The houses here in the south, some of the older homes, are not necessarily well insulated to maintain a comfortable temperature inside the home when the outside temperature remains just above freezing and below for days on end. So yeah, money. And the reason I'm in front of the camera is I've kind of have a little bit of a show and tell. Wow, I got some white going on here. For several years, there's a company out of England that has fascinated me in the realm of fly fishing, and that company is called Hardy, Hardy. Hardy. It is a fly fishing company that has come and gone a few times. It originated in the Victorian era. Anyway, during the Industrial Revolution in the mid-1800s in England, and then right up until 1900, they were the leading fly fishing mecca, especially for Europe. Fly fishing here in the United States really didn't catch on for a while. And I say all that because the reason I was piqued by it, my interest in history, and then my interest in the history of fly fishing. There's, here we have, Shakespeare, we have Fluger, we have Ocean City, we have some of the big Scott fly rods, some of the much older bamboo rod manufacturers. But Orvis is about the only name that we can trace back in the colonies here as being like the name in fly fishing. A lot of the equipment that Orvis sold was made by Hardy, just branded with the Orvis name. And one of the things that I've always, kind of kept my eye on, like, where can I? And Hardy does make modern fly rods and reels, and they're very expensive. They're very pretty as well. And years ago, I had an opportunity to buy like a new branded Hardy Marquis reel through one of my big box stores when they used to carry it, and I just didn't do it. I thought, it's a bit expensive. I couldn't see dropping the money on it and whatever. So let's fast forward to the holidays, and Santa Claus was very good to me, because in this nifty little blue leather case, which is actually, I did some research, this is actually not a Hardy case, it's a Scientific Angler, but for a while Hardy made reels with the Scientific Angler brand on them, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a light impression of a square on the case of this right in here. It would have said in gold letters faded out on the bottom, it does say scientific angler. I had to do some very, very close investigative work to get a image of it, and I'm like, okay, there it is. But what's in it is what matters. This beautiful reel, very simple, is a Hardy, can't get the light on it, Marquis 6. Now, Santa Claus, hint hint, is not a fly fisherman in my family. Our Santa Claus, that would be my wife. But she found this on the eBays, and I was utterly shocked on Christmas. On the bottom here, in some script right along in here, it reads, made by the Hardy Brothers Limited, England. These things are just amazing. Now, these are what are called Click and Paul fly reels. If you'll notice, the handle is not on the outside. The handle and the rim is unpolished, or well, it's unpainted and polished, whatever. And what that's designed is designed to palm the reel. This is a outstandingly manufactured reel. The cleat is riveted. It's a solid piece of machined aluminum. We'll take off the cassette here. It is a beautiful, and there's an original sticker there. It had Scientific Angler Weight Forward 7 something on it. I left it there. It came that way. It did require some cleaning when I got it. There was lots of, I really don't know what it was, like dust of some sort, but grainy kind of dust. Now, what's fantastic about the inside of this thing is it's so simple. You have this drag on the back that goes up and down, and this horseshoe applies pressure to the springs, which applies pressure to the pawl. And you can set this up for a left hand or right hand retrieve. You have this external ring right here, which is actually inset into this portion of the cassette. So it looks extremely dainty and fragile, but it is not. And these are not, I'm not really sure that these are molded aluminum or they're machined. I'm going to go with machined, because just the quality and the feel, the fit, everything inside this is either stainless steel, like surgical stainless or something. I have no idea on the date of manufacture of this particular reel. The 6 on the back of that would denote it's roughly a 6 weight. I currently have some 5 weight line on here. It's Orvis 5 weight line with the backing and all that. But it snaps in there. I mean, there's no noise. I mean, even if I don't, that is it. I mean, the tolerances are amazing. Now, it was set up for right hand. Had to do a little research on how these are set up to change over. I kind of had an idea. So I had to change what was really interesting is this stripping guard. It was on this side because it was a right-hand retrieve. Now had to move it over here for a left-hand retrieve. That is not like just a stamped piece of metal that goes onto here. No, this is a machined piece of steel. It's one piece, it's solid, it's not concaved, and it doesn't sandwich onto the thing. No, it was almost impossible to get that thing back in there. It is such a tight fit. In a modern reel, we don't even have those anymore. This is a cheap Cabela's version of a click and pawl. Well, on the retrieve, it's extremely quiet. It's actually too loose. It's pretty annoying. I don't use it that much, but if a fish were to take it, it has a nice response there. But you hear that? Click, 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 lots of rattle. This was a great, it's the Orvis, not Orvis, it's a Cabela's CGR. They don't make these anymore. It's a molded aluminum, or cast, if you will. Cast aluminum, cast die cast, whatever it's made out of. They try to make something similar to this, but it just doesn't have the same fit, feel. And this is actually quite heavy. This is a bigger reel, but this one is actually heavier than this, which is weird. It's a lot thicker in the walls. It's just, yeah, it's a cheap reel. It went with a CGR rod that I had. Starting out, it had a much better, but over time, it's lost some of its rigidity and tightness. Like the spool wobbles a little bit. So yeah, this is a beautiful reel, and I hope to take it out. If you can get your hands on one of these, man, absolutely gorgeous. The Hardy Marquis series of click and pawl reels are just amazing. So I just wanted to show this, and it's not really an in-depth review. It's just classic click and pawl fly fishing reel. And with that, Happy New Year to everyone. And I guess we'll see what 2025 brings. And, get out there, get at it, do it. And we'll see you on the water. Lock and Hackle, out.